Charlotte, who is just 9 years old, has drawn comparisons to Princess Anne in terms of her demeanor. Nonetheless, her severe response to Prince William's seemingly innocent question stunned the royal family. No one anticipated or was ready for this, yet this is how it played out. Come along as we investigate Charlotte's actions and the motivation behind them. Not only is she popular and kind, but Prince William has revealed that she also has a sarcastic and self-assured side. The transformation of Princess Charlotte into an independent young woman a few years ago has gone unnoticed by anybody. In a video that Prince William posted on Mail Online, he showed a lighter side of Princess Charlotte. He said that when she was 6 years old, whenever people asked her age, she would always say that she was 16. Additionally, he brought up the fact that Princess Charlotte will assert her independence by saying that she is 6 years old now. The princess has grown into a lively and well-liked child now that she is 9 years old. At the school where she and her brothers, Prince George, 11 years old, and Prince Louis, 5 years old, are students, she is well-liked for her amiability and friendliness. Prince William and Princess Kate allegedly want a typical childhood for their children. Lambrook School has the princess listed as Charlotte Cambridge, but she goes by her loving nickname Luty Wales, which she supposedly earned from friends and cherishes. People say she's well-liked at school and always helps out the younger kids. Queen Elizabeth II's funeral, Wimbledon, and the coronation of King Charles III are just a few of the royal events and celebrations that Charlotte has visited recently, all of which have received enthusiastic public greetings. The princess's care for her siblings has had an extraordinary part during these activities. With 2 brothers, Charlotte will probably look up to her mom and other female relatives as role models, even if she seems to be a rather confident little girl. Former BBC royal correspondent Jenny Bond made the observation that Charlotte is at an age where she can truly admire her mother's sense of style, enabling them to experience meaningful moments together, citing a succession of influential women in her life, including her great-grandmother, the Queen, and her own mother. Catherine, the woman said, shows how a prominent royal should behave. This, she said, demonstrates that Charlotte's emerging personality is just the beginning. Here you may see it. Recent events have shown a distinct side of Charlotte's personality, her talent at handling the complex power dynamics within the royal family, in addition to her renowned allure and beauty. This skill has given credence to long-held speculation that she may be a prominent royal, much like her mother Kate Middleton and, more significantly, Princess Anne. Charlotte has early promise as a skilled mediator. She has a gift for influencing others around her with her thoughtful demeanor, and she's just 9 years old. By asking innocent questions about her father's beard and the sentimental bracelet she made for William, she manages to diffuse the tension between Prince William and Prince Harry. While she may not fully understand the complexities of their conflict, her actions serve as a subtle reminder of the importance of family unity. Charlotte has an exceptional ability to bring comfort and intimacy to even the most challenging partnerships. Furthermore, her influence does not stem from impassioned oratory or grand gestures, but rather from her perceptiveness, responsiveness, and awareness. She has this natural knack for picking up on people's emotions and adjusting her behavior appropriately. As someone who has spent years navigating the complex realities of royal procedure, Princess Anne has taken notice of Charlotte's remarkable aptitude and views her as a natural diplomat. Princess Anne has started briefing her on the nuances of royal influence, such as how to strike a balance between tradition and modernity, and how to be noticeable without trampling on anyone's toes. Notable results are beginning to emerge from this direction. Whether she's helping out her younger siblings, sharing her concerns about family dynamics, or simply being a calming presence amidst mayhem, Charlotte's behavior at recent family gatherings has demonstrated her maturing maturity and influence. Just like in the first case, Charlotte shows that true authority isn't necessarily loud. Often, the subtlest actions speak volumes. Princess Anne, who has been Charlotte's worst critic and greatest ally, has given her stamp of approval as she has progressed in her role. Anne is known for her practicality and stoicism, so she is difficult to impress. However, when it comes to Charlotte, she too cannot conceal her pride. At a recent family gathering, this dynamic was on full display. When discussions about a sensitive family problem got heated, Charlotte was the one who calmed everyone down with statements that were thoughtful, insightful, and surprisingly mature for someone so young. Anne seemed profoundly moved as she watched from the sidelines. Witnessing Charlotte embody the principles of the monarchy was profoundly emotional for a woman who has committed her life to upholding those ideas. A young royal who isn't afraid to speak her mind while maintaining the utmost respect and grace, Charlotte exemplifies the ideal combination of tradition and modernity, as Anne would later point out. Keeping this equilibrium is crucial for the future relevance of the monarchy. It is essential to examine the link that existed between Princess Charlotte and her great-grandmother, even if we have seen the constant bond between Princess Anne and Charlotte, which has affected the young princess. From the moment Princess Charlotte arrived, the connection between her and Queen Elizabeth II was characterized by a mutual regard and a subtle profundity. Because she saw a spark that brought her fond memories of her own childhood, the Queen developed an intense crush on her great-granddaughter. The Queen was more than a regal figure to Charlotte. She was an inspiration and a wellspring of knowledge. They spent a lot of time together, particularly in the Queen's last years, and that influenced Charlotte's view of her role as Queen. Princess Anne, who shares the Queen's strong relationship, often felt nostalgic thinking back on these times. The cyclical nature of royal life was starkly illustrated by Charlotte's relationship with the Queen. Just as Elizabeth had learnt from her predecessors, Charlotte was now learning from her. The Queen's impact on Charlotte extended beyond their close friendship. As they conversed, Charlotte began to understand Elizabeth's rule as characterized by tenacity, responsibility, and flexibility. These lessons have shaped Charlotte into a realistic and creative thinker, and they have been central to her view of royal life. However, there are many problems and barriers that the little princess may face on her path ahead. Despite her remarkable leadership qualities and maturity for her age, Princess Charlotte is at a crossroads as she juggles the heavy burden of royal expectations with the desires of a little girl yearning to grow up. Dealing with the public's increasing interest in her every action is one of her most pressing concerns. Despite the adoration she has received, her magnetic waves and self-assured demeanor have also put her under intense scrutiny, with her every move, garment, and comment scrutinized, sometimes unfairly. Consistent with previous personalities such as Princess Diana or her brother George, there is a great deal of pressure to maintain the family's image while also forging her own personality, and this challenge is anticipated to intensify with time. Inside the palace gates, however, a young royal faces an even more complicated situation due to family turmoil, notably the gulf between Prince William and Prince Harry. Charlotte's capacity to remain objective while maintaining a steady hand will be vital as she matures and begins to grasp the complexities of these interactions. Furthermore, Charlotte has an increasingly uncertain future ahead of her as the monarchy undergoes changes under King Charles III. It is imperative that Charlotte adapts swiftly to a dynamic environment due to concerns over the royal family's relevance in contemporary culture and the shifting roles played by its members. Charlotte still has a lot going for her despite all of this. With the help of her mentors like Princess Anne, her innate charisma, and her heightened emotional intelligence, she is prepared to face any challenge that comes her way. In particular, Charlotte possesses a gift that will be essential as she becomes increasingly involved in public life, a reverence for reconciling tradition with modern ideas, thanks to Anne, her tutor. Charlotte has recently shown that she is prepared to face the challenges that lie ahead, even though the world is watching her every move. Stay tuned if you're interested in learning how Charlotte won over the people so rapidly. Princess Charlotte, who is just 9 years old, has gone from being a charming royal child seen waving from the balcony of Buckingham Palace to a star in her own right, capturing the interest of people all over the globe. Embracing the opulent realm of royalty, Charlotte's existence showcases a delicate equilibrium between privilege and responsibility. The tale of a young girl negotiating the intricate web of royal customs, public scrutiny, and personal problems lies underneath the seemingly flawless surface. Charlotte is starting to carve out her place as an intriguing and powerful personality, as recent events have demonstrated. Charlotte is quickly becoming a prominent character, with her subtle conversations in palace halls and her surprising movements that have astonished even the most seasoned royals, including Princess Anne. With her mother Middleton battling health issues, and her father, Prince William, juggling rising public and familial demands, this revelation takes on further significance in light of the present challenges encountered by the royal family. Charlotte has become a powerful symbol in this scenario because her actions, whether deliberate or not, lend credence to long-held beliefs about her maturity, sense of duty, and her hidden status as a vital family member. An experienced member of the royal household, Princess Anne has seen Princess Charlotte's incredible growth. Princess Anne, renowned for her steadfast devotion to royal duties, is the one whose reply highlights the importance of Charlotte's voyage. From the outside, Princess Charlotte's complicated royal existence may seem like a fairy tale. A little child who lives in opulent settings, wears expensive clothes, and is maybe a symbol of the British royal family. However, the reality that emerges after a thorough study is far but flawless. A hefty burden that overshadows her attempts to savor the joys of youth. The crown represents more than simply a legacy to Charlotte. Every public wave, grin directed at the camera, and her unusual fun mannerisms are extensively scrutinized by the media and the public, adding to the early obstacles faced by royal kids. In the context of her childhood, which was marked by unprecedented family strife, Charlotte's struggles stand out. Having recently received the devastating news that her beloved mother, Kate Middleton, has cancer, Charlotte is left to deal with the emotional toll that this tragedy has had on her family. A domino effect has occurred at home as a result of Kate's health problem. The weight of Prince William's responsibilities has likely tested his ability to form close relationships with his children. Persistent disputes, such as those between Prince Harry and Prince William, King Charles's convoluted legacy, and the unceasing scrutiny from the British public, further complicate the ties within the royal family. The early years of Charlotte have become more complicated due to these factors. Her increasing maturity and apparent ability to grasp the seriousness of her family's hardships have begun to be noticed by observers. Charlotte, unlike many other kids her age, is an active participant in her environment rather than a bystander. Discussions over her changing role within the royal family have been prompted by her increasing retreat from public engagements and her moments of supporting her younger siblings. In the midst of such enormous challenges, how can a youngster manage? It appears that Charlotte's quiet fortitude, which is influencing how her loved ones and neighbors regard her, holds the key to her future. This strength is also being lovingly fostered by someone who is cognizant of the stresses associated with royal duties. The British monarchy has been deeply rooted in tradition for centuries, from the grandeur of royal occasions to the strict regulations that govern royal conduct. Every aspect of royal life is steeped in history. Traditional practices serve as both an anchor and a shackle for a young royal like Princess Charlotte. As she steps into a system where centuries-old traditions control her every action, Charlotte is expected to curtsy at appropriate moments, adhere to clothing requirements reminiscent of the Victorian era, and only speak when asked to do so in formal settings. Despite the apparent reasonableness of these expectations, Charlotte often feels pressured to suppress her natural curiosity and young excitement in order to conform. But Charlotte does not limit herself to doing what others have done before her. Through her candid remarks during royal events and her subtle inquiries regarding family customs, she has recently shown herself to be a courageous young woman who is not afraid to question conventional wisdom. In doing so, she carves out a niche for herself within the rigid constraints of royal life. This growing sense of independence has piqued the interest of many, including Princess Anne, who has taken on the role of mentor to the young princess. Princess Anne, who is famous for her unmatched strategy and steadfast commitment to royal duties, is aware of the risks and rewards associated with Charlotte's rebellion. Princess Anne has the difficult task of guiding Charlotte toward a self-discovery that is both authentic and respectful to tradition. She is well aware of the risks associated with both conforming to procedure and letting Charlotte's individuality shine through, and with either extreme she risks a fate similar to that of Prince Harry, whose departure from the royal family has had a profound effect on the family. Her counsel serves as both a guide and a protection for Charlotte, showing her the value of tradition while also inspiring her to update it so it fits in with contemporary culture. This delicate juggling act is preparing Charlotte for what may be her crowning achievement, the moment when she begins to reimagine what it means to be a princess in the modern day. The moment that marked a major shift occurred in the midst of her mother's health crisis. As Charlotte's guide, Princess Anne takes center stage. Anne has lived her life to the fullest, demonstrating unwavering commitment to duty, while deftly negotiating the complexities of royal expectations without sacrificing her personality. She possesses the ideal blend of qualities to guide Charlotte through these difficult times. In her role as Charlotte's mentor, Anne instilled in her the fundamentals of royal protocol and helped her prepare for a future in which she would likely play a pivotal role in the monarchy. Rather from being just external, Anne saw that Charlotte's problems were fundamentally internal. The little princess had a lot on her plate between her ailing mother, her emotionally distant father, and the immense expectations placed on her as a Windsor. A combination of strict criteria and compassionate support was Anne's mentoring style. While she was candid about Charlotte's areas for improvement, she was also eager to acknowledge her strengths and how she had grown. Anne brought attention to the parallels between Charlotte's present difficulties and her own past hardships by revealing her own experiences. Anne stood out as a mentor because she foresaw the far-reaching effects of Charlotte's decisions, which would shape popular opinion of the monarchy for decades to come. Anne drew attention to the significance of harmonizing tradition with current principles after coming to this conclusion. A recent family reunion provided a particularly illuminating illustration of Anne's impact. Charlotte, who had been very reserved all evening, broke her silence to voice her thoughts on a family issue. She seemed much older than her years, with insightful remarks that revealed a profound comprehension. Anne was visibly touched as she watched from the sidelines. The significant strides Charlotte had taken with her encouragement were emphasized by her emotions. With Anne at her side, Charlotte has a mentor who will guide her and support her no matter what as she navigates the complexities of royal life. An unexpected confrontation with her father, Prince William, provided a remarkable opportunity for this courageous young leader to demonstrate her emerging leadership qualities. Her courageous actions, profound insights, and increasing sense of responsibility astounded her family and the community, all stemming from an innocent inquiry from an eager 9-year-old. The delightfully straightforward question that Charlotte asked her father was why he looked so much like Uncle Harry. This inquiry pertained to William's choice to grow a beard, a move that deeply unsettled her. Charlotte saw this as a symbol of the family rift with Prince Harry, whose absence has a profound impact on their relationships at the palace, even if this may appear minor to many. Both the courage with which Charlotte posed the question and the clarity with which she articulated it were remarkable aspects of her investigation. Neither was it an immature request nor a pouty complaint. In this scene, Charlotte's unease over her father's transformation becomes very clear. A wave of concern washed over her as she noted the subtle but significant changes in his demeanor and behavior. She was troubled not just by the visible changes but also by the seeming widening of the emotional chasm between them, a chasm that her innocent heart struggled to comprehend. Her level of emotional intelligence was above average for someone her age, which was quite remarkable. Charlotte had an aptitude for handling complex emotions, and articulating them well at the tender age of 9, an accomplishment that adults would find admirable. As an astute observer, Princess Anne saw this exchange unfold, but refrained from interfering. The weight of her reply was immense. Princess Anne, who is known for her importance of honesty and openness, was clearly impressed by Charlotte's capacity to articulate her feelings with such consideration. Charlotte wasn't only expressing discomfort, she was actively engaging in a debate that required courage and transparency, she recognized. Because of her poise and composure in the face of adversity, Charlotte's leadership abilities were on full display at this occasion. William's response was just as perceptive. He shaved his beard in response to Charlotte's severe concerns, rather than dismissing them. Charlotte was already making an impression on her family, and this seemingly insignificant move demonstrated that. A heartfelt act that conveyed his understanding of her feelings and his desire to heal the emotional rift that had formed. Both Charlotte's personal triumph and her future status in the monarchy were hinted at by this event. She had already swayed the opinion of a key member of the royal family by the time she was 9 years old. She had the potential to one day utilize her influence for the benefit of all because of her gift for inspiring change, however little. It was only the beginning of Charlotte's journey as a courageous young leader, as Princess Anne subsequently noted. The groundwork for her leadership was being laid, and her talent was beginning to be seen by the globe. In that instant, Charlotte not only dealt with her father's transformation, but she also got herself ready to grow into a compassionate and competent leader, one who could handle the difficulties of her royal duties with wisdom and insight. Now that we know all this, let's have a look at the current hypotheses about Princess Anne and Charlotte. Princess Anne may be pressuring her nephew, Prince William, to bestow the esteemed title of Princess Royal on his daughter Charlotte, in light of public opinion on her feelings for Charlotte. Upon retiring from the post, which she has held with great pleasure and dignity, Anne intends to relinquish this distinction, which she reportedly supports in its whole, to the 9-year-old. Considering her own children, Peter Phillips and Zara Tindall have shown little desire to serve the monarchy with the same level of devotion, Anne has begun to contemplate about her legacy and the future of this revered title. This has caused her to change her attention to helping young Charlotte fulfill her royal responsibilities. Anne, who is known for her candor, had already encouraged William to give Charlotte the title without delay. A reliable source has revealed that Anne is unconcerned with following protocol and is giving serious thought to the potential outcomes for all parties. She has grown closer to William and formed a unique bond with Charlotte over the years. William and Catherine, Duchess of Cambridge, have reportedly been strengthening their link by sharing stories about Charlotte's great-aunt Anne's participation in the 1976 Montreal Olympics, which has sparked Charlotte's interest for horses. Anne is so taken by Charlotte's riding skills that she suggests she take riding classes. Anne sees great potential in Charlotte, and their shared history as the second-born daughter of a ruler and the oldest daughter of a noble creates a special bond between them. In this tale of royal lineage and mentoring, Princess Anne demonstrates her commitment to passing her prestigious title on to future generations while nurturing the abilities of a young princess who is very dear to her. One could wonder if the lovely Princess Charlotte, daughter of Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, has any chance of becoming queen in the course of the royal succession. As a result of the constant fascination with the British royal family, many people are curious about the complexities of inheritance. One may ask, with the Elizabethan age coming to a close, whether Princess Charlotte, who was born on May 2, 2015, will one day be queen. Princess Charlotte of Cambridge is a fitting moniker that pays tribute to her prestigious family and exudes an air of regal elegance. The rich genealogy of her great-grandmother, Princess Diana, her grandpa, King Charles, and her great-great-grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II, form a vivid tapestry that is her full title, Her Royal Highness Princess Charlotte Elizabeth Diana of Wales. As a sweet nod to her noble parents' connections to the illustrious University of Cambridge and their many titles, she was fondly known as Charlotte Cambridge throughout her school years. This endearing moniker served to highlight the illustrious lineage that ran through her family and served as a constant reminder of her illustrious past. Charlotte, as a member of the royal family, is honored to be called Her Royal Highness. This title enables her to avoid using a surname in many formal contexts, which is lovely. But when the needs arise, people address her as Mountbatten Windsor, a unique combination that highlights her background. As a symbol of her deep roots in British history and her family's illustrious lineage, this name blends the surname of her grandpa, Prince Philip, with that of the illustrious House of Windsor. This unconventional naming convention emphasizes the weight of history associated with her royal status, drawing attention to the fact that she belongs to a dynasty that has shaped the country for many years. However, Princess Charlotte will play a significant role in the royal family as she matures, even if the crown is still out of her reach. She may one day get the esteemed title of Princess Royal, which is usually given to the eldest daughter of the reigning monarch, just like senior male heirs are recognized with the title of Prince of Wales. This prospective future title reflects the great regard in which she is held within the royal family and the expectations placed on her as she fulfills her royal duties. In addition, Prince George and Princess Charlotte's lives will be profoundly impacted by an everlasting royal etiquette in less than a year. Aiming to preserve the continuation of the monarchy and the succession line, this rule is deeply ingrained in royal traditions. In order to minimize hazards and ensure the continuation of the royal line, it is necessary for the two young royals to travel separately. In a world where everything is always changing, this procedure serves as a gentle reminder of the responsibilities that come with being a member of the royal family and the careful planning that is needed to uphold their dignity. Princess Charlotte and Prince George will undoubtedly carry the weight of their ancestry with grace and composure as they grow into their roles as representatives of the traditions and values held by the British royal family. George will be bound by an obscure but significant law that forbids him and Charlotte from traveling together when he turns 12 on July 22, 2025. According to royal custom, a royal heir is not permitted to travel with other direct heirs to the throne after they reach the age of 12. Therefore, this project is an attempt to safeguard the royal succession in the event of an unforeseen event. The potential for unexpected events, such as a plane crash or other transportation-related disaster, to wipe off several heirs at once, causing anarchy within the monarchy, is the rationale for this rule. Preventing such catastrophic events and ensuring the continuity of the royal dynasty are the goals of this decree. Prior to Prince George's 11th birthday, a former pilot for King Charles revealed the practice in an interview with OK magazine, drawing on his knowledge of royal travel. Consequently, George is obligated to follow this rule throughout his life, which means he must utilize different forms of transportation than his close relatives in order to maintain the line of succession. Because members of the royal family have always been at serious risk while traveling by air, this etiquette is more than just a formality. Notably, in 1937, Prince Philip's sister passed away in an aeroplane crash. In 1942, Prince George, Duke of Kent, too suffered a comparable demise in a separate catastrophe. Prince William of Gloucester, who was related to Queen Elizabeth II, died in an aircraft accident in 1972. This was rather lately. Air travel has inherent dangers even for royalty, as these tragic occurrences show. With this important milestone quickly approaching, Prince George's future travel plans will undergo a sea shift with the implementation of this protocol. The rules that govern the royal family may seem rigid and antiquated to those on the outside, but they are essential for the survival of the monarchy. The purpose of these regulations is to ensure that alternate claimants to the throne are prepared to assume power in the event of a catastrophic event. This protection shows that the monarchy is serious about keeping the line of succession alive, which will help the royal family deal with problems that may arise. Crucially, the present monarch must provide explicit permission before these rules may be disregarded, even in extraordinary circumstances. Exceptions have been made in the past when necessary. For example, Prince William and Prince George were able to travel with Queen Elizabeth II's approval while George was under 12 years old. These exceptions are expected to grow less prevalent as he approaches his 12th birthday, though. The forthcoming, more substantial position that George will play in the monarchy suggests that the royal family should think about the repercussions of this reign. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and watch the next video I've uploaded if you liked it.